Crazy technological failures. 10. Google Glass. Few gadgets have debuted with as much buzz as Google Glass, the smart spectacles the search giant unveiled in 2012. From its flashy introduction demo that featured skydivers streaming their jump through the device, to a spread in Vogue, Glass had possibly one of the most hyped gadget launches of all time. But all for naught, Google shelved the product in 2015, though it's still being used in some professional applications. The headset's high price tag and concerns about privacy kept it from going mainstream. While Glass may have failed, it offered valuable lessons about wearable tech. Namely, nobody likes to be recorded without their knowledge. 9. Dreamcast. Sega's spiral-topped, candy-button swan song console was the video game powerhouse buyers didn't know they needed half a decade too soon. Released in Japan in November 1998 and North America in 1999, it combined home arcade wish fulfillment with a built-in modem for online multiplayer as well as controllers with second screens years before Nintendo's SNES handhelds. Unable to lure gamers mesmerized by the marketing hype around next-gen Sony and Nintendo systems, the Dreamcast has since become an exemplar of how to fail in an industry, but go out with a thunderclap. 8. Motorola Roker E1. Apple's iPhone popularized the idea of a phone that doubles as a seemingly unlimited jukebox. But it wasn't the company's first turn at making a music-centric phone. The Roker E1, released in 2005 in partnership with Motorola, was the first phone prepackaged with a version of Apple's iTunes music software. However, the device was more or less lifeless on arrival, as critics lamented the software's sluggish performance and the phone's small storage capacity. Still, it foretold a better future, one in which our phones can summon up nearly any song on command. 7. Segway. Perhaps no gadget evokes the early turn of the century like the Segway, a personal motorized scooter that riders control by leaning in one direction or another. Designed as a revolutionary new transportation option, Segways have largely been relegated to the realm of the mall cop and tour group. But for whatever reason, technologists never tire of trying to replace the well-proven movement method of walking around. The great hoverboard craze of 2015-16 can trace its origins directly to this stand-up scooter. Six. QR codes. QR codes sound like a genuinely useful idea, barcode-like symbols that smartphone users could scan for more information about some real-world object, be it a movie poster or a museum exhibit. Though it remains popular abroad, the technology never caught on in the US, perhaps because QR codes tend to be ugly and jarring. However, the idea of scanning real-world objects with our smartphones remains. Pinterest recently introduced Lens, an app that analyzes physical items to help you find similar products for sale online. 5. Pebble. Apple and Samsung may have popularized the smartwatch, but Pebble led the way beforehand. The original Pebble became the most funded Kickstarter product of all time, raising more than $10 million in 2012. And the company cultivated a strong developer following, with hundreds of third-party apps and watch faces available. But the smartwatch market was too small for Pebble to survive for long, especially when the world's biggest tech giants entered the space. In December 2016, Pebble announced it would sell its technology and other assets to Fitbit. Still, versions of some of Pebble's early ideas can be found in today's top smartwatches. 4. The Daily. Launched with hype and hoopla during the honeymoon period following Apple's original iPad reveal, The Daily, a News Corporation-backed digital-first newspaper, featured flashy graphics, embedded video, and new ways for readers to interact with stories. But the e-paper required a paid subscription that was arranged through the iTunes Store, and revenue was split with Apple, a model that proved unsustainable. While The Daily shut down after less than 2 years, many media outlets are still looking to mobile devices as the future, though profitability remains a largely uncracked nut. 3. MapQuest. Long ago, MapQuest was one of the best options around for getting driving directions before you set off on your road trip. While it still exists, it was the #2 mapping service in the US as of 2015, it's been largely outmoded by Google Maps, Apple Maps and other smartphone-based GPS services that rendered pre-printed driving directions obsolete. Still, the service was many users' first foray into getting driving directions from the internet, leading to the much improved services we enjoy today. 2. Virtual Boy. A visitor to a Tokyo software exhibition samples Nintendo's 32-bit Virtual Boy 3-dimensional virtual reality video game system on November 15, 1994. It wasn't even virtual, instead offering a crude tabletop version of what viewers now routinely experience when they pop on stereoscopic 3D glasses at the movies. But creator Gunpei Yokoi's critical misfire was vital in at least this sense: it got the public thinking about virtual reality decades before true virtual headsets like the Oculus Rift arrived. 1. TiVo. One of the first digital video recorders, or DVRs, to come to market, and a brand so successful it became a verb, TiVo to this day puts out some of the best set-top boxes on the planet. But the company is on this list because it played nice when it should have dominated. For instance, instead of suing when cable companies rolled out their own DVRs, TiVo waited to see if they could work out a deal, because it was reliant on the TV providers. Then, rather than marketing how much better TiVo boxes were than cable DVRs, the company tamed its revolutionary commercial skipping features. And finally, when TiVo did sue, it was too late. Cable company DVRs were everywhere. TiVo won all its patent infringement cases, bringing home $1.6 billion that has sustained the company to this day. But considering that many consumers think TiVo went out of business, in the end,